Yeah, there was the supermarket that you see in the background is exactly the same one that's in Hot Fuzz, and that's a field where they're kind of like they're in is like a, you know, we used the same locations twice. That was shot in my hometown, obviously, and we went back there for Hot Fuzz. I had my hair cut so I looked more like I did 20 years ago.
That was you?
That was me.
No, I'm kidding. I didn't. That was terrific. And what, can you just describe what it was like doing films like that? Like what the experience was like?
I guess I didn't really like kind of delegate anything crew-wise. I didn't really think to do that, so I would do everything behind the scenes myself. So a lot of times I'd have like the camera and the boom in my hand, and that was like film was shot on VHS, Super VHS, and Video 8. You could like tell by the video tearing.
And when you would do this, like were your friends taking it as seriously as you were? Like, what was that like, just for leading that group of people that were not going to end up being Edgar Wright?
They were there was a core group, like sort of, like one day we'd get like 20 people to be in it, and they'd do it for one afternoon, and they kind of get bored during the afternoon, and then like those guys, we did that like all summer, and even that scene there, it took kind of 6 weeks, because that playground, you could only really get in there like at sort of 6:30 till 9 before the kids turned up, and then like 6:30 till 9 after the kids had gone, and then pretty much out of the. And it was not dissimilar to shooting Hot Fuzz, where we didn't really have all the streets locked down, and so, you weren't really supposed to, 3 18-year-olds with guns and fake blood and knives weren't really supposed to be in a children's playground. And I remember there's that one shot, that shot where the guy, the main cop, comes to the standing in that big wide shot, and I was right over the other side of the playground, and he's standing there with like blood all over him and a gun, and this old man came up to him, not seeing me or the camera, and just saw him and this gun and the fake blood, and he said, "You can't play with guns in a children's park." And then my friend goes, "No, we're making a film." He goes, "Oh no, it's not real." He goes, "But you can't play with guns in a children's park." And he goes, "No, it's not real. It's fake blood. It's a fake gun. It's a water pistol." And he goes, "Well, grow up then." That would be the general level of reaction.
So you did these movies. How did this translate into doing a proper feature film with your first feature?
I guess I did them all through school, and I won this competition and done this animation film, and so I've done a bunch of shorts. And in the UK there were a bunch of sort of youth film festivals and stuff. And when I was at art college for 2 years, and I kind of learned how to sort of edit whilst I was there, and I edited this whilst I was there. And then at the end of that, I was so swept up with the idea, and I was like 20, I was so swept up with the idea of doing an Evil Dead, literally in those terms. And this was I probably heard about like Bad Taste and Peter Jackson as well at the same time. This was just before maybe El Mariachi came out as well, but my yardstick was like Evil Dead, and I wanted to make a film when I was 20. And in a way, in retrospect, I didn't really care what kind of film it was. So I remade on Super 16, I remade straight up, and literally 3 weeks after I finished art college, remade one of the films I'd made on like Video 8, like a western spoof called Fist for the Fingers. And it was one of those weird things, we got the money from like a local businessman who had who had a big inheritance and had basically some money to lose on a tax dodge. And he gave us £11,000, and we shot for 21 days. We shot for as long as we could on £11,000. And it was one of those things and then I moved to London. My brother was already living in London. I moved to London to edit it. And it wasn't really until I got there, and we shot the whole film with like no proper actors in it, all like school friends, kind of zero sort of production kind of values. And I think sort of and it was just one of those things that was completely powered along by its own naivety. Like I only wrote one draft of the script. The script was only like sort of 70 pages long, and the assemble edit, which as you know is like the long edit of the film, as it turned out, was only 17 minutes long, the long version of it. And I think there was a point when I was editing the film where I suddenly, and I remember like one of my art college lecturers had said he asked what I was doing, he said, he goes, don't do a spoof as your first film. Don't do a Western spoof. Do something original. And I kind of go, yeah. And then I think when I was editing it, I kind of realised I'd committed something to film, and there was no going back. And also it was a big lesson. I mean, and in a way, I owe the rest of my career to it, because I'm not really that happy with it, and like sort of, because one of the main things is I realised after the fact, and it's something that I've never done since, is like, don't shoot the same joke twice. And I realised, even though the 16mm version had kind of better production values and there was a lot of nice stuff in it, like, it wasn't as funny as the Video 8 one. And like, sort of trying to reshoot the same gags with the same people in the same locations, just the kind of the spirit of it had got lost along the way.
I ask because it's